mueva la colita, mami, mueva la colita pa' abajo, muévala. ¿Dónde está la gente que le gusta trabajar esta noche? ¿Dónde está la gente estudiosa? A ver, ¿dónde está la gente que se porta bien? La gente que le hace caso a la mamá y al papá. A ver, que levante las manos arriba. ¿Cómo? Mueva la colita pa' abajo, pa' abajo. Mueva la colita pa' abajo, pa' abajo. Mueva la colita, mami. Mueva la colita pa' abajo, pa' abajo. ¿Dónde está la gente que le gusta el alcohol esta noche? ¿Dónde está la gente que le gusta la cumbia? Mueva la colita pa' abajo, pa' abajo. Mueva la colita pa' abajo, pa' abajo. Mueva la colita, mami. Mueva la colita pa' abajo, pa' abajo. Muévala.
Se toman todo.
Nueva era.
Bienvenidos, bienvenidas, bienvenidex. Welcome everybody to the CPC Language Justice webinar. If nothing else happens, at least hubo cumbia. Si nada más funciona, por lo menos hubo cumbia. We are so excited that this is happening. We are so excited that you are here with us. We have folks from all over the country. We have folks, I think, from outside of the United States. So we are super excited that this webinar is finally here. So one of the goals of this webinar is to bring this community together and to see our faces, those of us that love language justice, practice language justice, want to practice language justice, and we know what it can do for our movement, for our communities, for our lives. And so I'm really excited to already see people's faces. And the first thing that we are going to do is introduce ourselves, because I'm a big fan of like everyone having a chance to say hello. Entonces nos vamos a presentar, and I'm going to ask folks, everyone's going to introduce themselves, and I'm going to ask folks to say 4 things. If you will say your name, where you live, if you're with a group, organization, collective, grupito, organization, and then we're going to take advantage of these webcams, and I want you to show your favorite body part. So for example, I would say, I'm Ada Volkmer. I live in Asheville, North Carolina. I work for the Center for Participatory Change. And my favorite body part is mis piernotas. So I will call on folks just to make it easier to go through. And what you'll have to do is like you'll unmute yourself. You'll say your name, where you live, if you're with a group or collective, and then you'll show us your favorite body part. Entonces, I'm going to call on my compañera, Andrea Golden.
Hi, everybody. My name is Andrea. I live in Asheville, North Carolina. I work with Ada at the Center for Participatory Change, and I am a worker, owner, and Sensontle Language Justice Cooperative. And today, my favorite body part is my womb, because it gave me my 3 kids.
Hey, hi everyone. My name is Chloe. I live in Charleston, South Carolina, and I am tech support for this call. CPC graciously invited me to participate in this way. And my favorite body part is my hand. I like to do things.
Super Ron.
So my name is Ron Garcia Fogarty. I live in Chatham County, about 15 minutes from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, which is kind of like the center of North Carolina for people not familiar with our state. And I'm a worker owner with Tilde Language Justice Cooperative, which has started this year, just like our sister cooperatives in Sonsontle and Nashville. Yeah, favorite body part. I guess my eyes, so.
Super. Miluska?
Hola. ¿Me oyen? Can you hear me? Yes?
Yep.
Okay. My name is Miluska, and I live in San Juan, Puerto Rico. I'm with Caracol, interpreter of Caracol Language Co-op. And I can't really pick a favorite body part, but, you know, I'll pick my booty. Pa' perrear.
No, ¿me oye Alison o no?
Hi, I didn't hear you, but now I can hear
Okay,
you.
listo.
Hola, mi nombre es Alison. I live in New York City. I'm with a few different groups, I think, that are sort of working on incorporating language justice. Word Up, which is a collective community space and bookstore in Washington Heights, and a few other sort of like conversations and groups with other folks, and oral history for social change networks that are trying to incorporate language justice as well. And I guess I'm doing an oral history project as well, which is my own group, I guess. My favorite body part, my ear for listening.
Cecilia Sainz Becerra.
Hey y'all. Cecilia es mi nombre. Algunos me conocen por Ceci, and that's cool. Vivo en Atlanta. I won't give you all the rest of my story, pero para luego, si me quieren hacer chat. El grupo es un crew en Atlanta que no tenemos nombre más que ahorita solamente nos identificamos como Women of Color Crew, ATL Turb Crew, or whatever configuration. Y favorite body part, I was really thinking about this. That's a good one. También si soy escandalosa con mi favorite body part, or should we just keep it PG-13?
No, para eso lo hicimos, Ceci. Va, dale.
¿Ah?
Para eso lo
¿Para
hicimos.
ser well,
No, hombre, ya se vamos a pasar.
I was gonna go from somewhere very non-PG-13. I don't know if my eyebrows counts. I've been doing them lately, and I'm like, I've been rocking that. So that works. También for my PR friends and my non-PG-13 part, my boobies. De Puerto Rico. So there we are.
Listo. Aldo Reséndiz.
Hola a todos, todas, todex. My name is Aldo Reséndiz. I live in New York City. I am part of a couple of different groups, part of the Mayday Space Collective in Brooklyn, and we do language for social justice classes. Also part of Malinche and some other groups. And my favorite body part would also be my eyebrows. But since someone already mentioned that, I will go for eyelashes.
Is there Lara Hill? Lara?
Yeah, hola a todos. I'm Lara Hill. I live in Northwest North Carolina, up in the mountains of North Carolina. I work in public education, and I'm a parent advocate and interpreter translator. I work with the Latino population in my school district. I also work with a couple of immigrant advocacy groups up in my area. And I would say favorite body part is normally my hair, but it's a bad hair day, which is why I've got the headband on, but I'll still go with it.
Pasamos con mi primo, JP.
Hola, prima.
Hola.
Pues mucho gusto. Mi nombre es JP, vengo de Houston, Texas. Trabajo aquí a nivel local con un grupo que se llama Antena Houston. Y pues las partes favoritas de mi cuerpo, porque voy a escoger dos, because I'm extra like that. Pues mis bíceps y luego mis uñas, que I just got like French tips done, so yeah.
Nice. ¿Está Patri?
Ahí ya quité el silencio. Hi everyone, my name is Patri. I am in Brooklyn, New York. I am with Caracol, and JP went ahead, but I did my manicure. So I'm really happy with my nails this week. So.
Y Juliana.
Can you hear me?
Ajá.
Sí. Hola, soy Juliana. Vivo en una ciudad que se llama Lawrenceville, cerca de Atlanta, como a 40 minutos de Atlanta. Y estoy con el grupo Sin Nombre que mencionó Cecilia. Y muy emocionada de pues todo lo que viene para nosotras y de este aprendizaje con ustedes. Y mi parte favorita del cuerpo hoy creo que son mis pies. Mi piel, les voy a mostrar uno. Hello. Y ya, creo que eso es todo.
Listo. And Andrew Gibbons, I think that you're there maybe you can see us, but we can't see you. Do you want to introduce yourself and tell us your favorite body part?
Hey guys, my name's Andrew. Sorry, I can't get my computer to work with the camera. I live in Asheville, North Carolina. I am the language services coordinator for the Buncombe County School, so I get to work with amazing group of interpreters over 4 different languages, Spanish, Romanian, Ukrainian, and Russian. So it's a great joy in my life. And one of I guess I'd say my favorite body part is my smile because it shows how happy I am, and I wish you guys could all see it. And I'm really happy to be here. Thanks, CPC.
Awesome. And I think that's everybody. Let me do just one. Oh, no, there's more folks. I must. All right, so we're gonna have to do more quickly. We're doing name, where you live, if you're with a group or org, no toda la vida, no cuando yo empecé a interpretar, if you're with a current group or org, and show us your favorite body part. Lindsay?
You guys hear me? Yeah? Okay. I'm in Mexico City. Antes estaba con el colectivo de intérpretes de Boston. I'm in Mexico City right now with a human rights organization, Miguel Agustín Pro, and I've done at least one language justice workshop with the education area. And right now, my favorite body part is the inside of my neck because it's the warmest spot on my body. It's really cold in Mexico City today, and I'm freezing.
Felix?
Buenas, Felix de New Jersey, Gutenberg, Caracol. Mi parte favorita es mi garganta y mi voz.
Qué linda. Gracias. Jonathan? Wait. I'm going to go to, is it AM? Who's AM? Yeah, go ahead. We have to unmute. Oh. Whoever wins, AM or Jonathan, whoever unmutes first is going to go.
Alba. Okay. Alba Mota, estoy en el Bronx, FDX, New York. Soy colaboradora de Caracol Language Cup. Y déjame ver alguien dijo los pies, yo también. No puedo enseñarlo, voy a enseñar las manos entonces. No puedo enseñar, bueno, te puedo enseñar estos pies.
Listo. Jonathan, you got it? Oh no, Jonathan.
Ahora? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the patience. I'm Jonathan. I'm located in Houston. I'm participating with Antena Houston. Favorite body part are my ears.
You can show us. Ahí está. Listo, Michelle. A ver. No oímos a Michelle. Te voy a brincar y voy con Sara Núñez y regreso. Vamos directo con Sara Núñez.
Hello, everyone. Sarah is my name, and I live in Louisville, Kentucky. Work with Mi Gente Louisville, and my favorite body part are my hands.
Nice, another doer. Michelle, want to try again? Oh no, Michelle. Voy con Brenda.
Hi, I'm Brenda Mesquita. I am in Asheville, North Carolina. I work with Helpmate and Buncombe County Schools, and my favorite part is my eyes.
There's someone on a 909 number. Who's that? Oh no, maybe it's too hard. Okay, and Michelle, última. La tercera es la vencida.
Okay.
Michelle. Tú puedes, sí.
¿Me escuchas?
Sí.
Ok, yay. Hola a todos. Mi nombre es Michelle. Yo soy de Georgia. Soy parte del grupo Sin Nombre. Mi parte favorita son mis ojos.
A ver,
Mis
enséñanos.
ojos.
Pero enséñanos. Awesome. All right. So, first goal of the webinar, escuchar cumbia, check. Second goal of the webinar, see all of your beautiful faces, check. Other goals of the webinar are to get the CPC curriculum in your hand, to get it out in the world, and to get our hands into it. Hoy vamos a como meter las manos a la masa. And we also want to give folks an opportunity to talk about how you could use the curriculum in your community as you bring in and bring up new interpreters. So many years ago, when I, Andrea, and some other people on this call were coming into immigrant rights organizing, we were trained by the National Network for Immigrant and Refugee Rights, NEAR. And NEAR had this curriculum, the Bridge curriculum, and it made a huge impact on us, and it made a huge impact on the way that we did immigrant rights organizing. And the Bridge curriculum comes from a legacy, like a Zapatista legacy of training in order to train others. And that is what inspired us to create the language justice curriculum. So the language justice curriculum, the CPC language justice curriculum, was put out in May of 2017. It has 10 chapters, and each chapter has a different topic. So there's a chapter on ungendering language, there's a chapter on queering language, there's a couple of chapters on role and ethics, there's one on Spanglish. It is all online at our website. You can see it chapter by chapter, or you can download the full curriculum. You can also order it online, like if you're like the old school, like cuadernito style, you can also order it online. And there are an accompanying set of YouTube videos that also kind of accompany some of the lesson plans. So there are a lot of people who helped to make this curriculum a reality, and we want to introduce you to some of the folks that helped make this curriculum come true. So I'm going to introduce you first to Leo. Típico. A ver, voy a ver si puedo otra vez. Dang it. Damn. All right, I'm going to try one more thing. Perdonen. Según yo estaba bien organizada.
This curriculum means so much to me. It's a collection of the trainings and the practice sessions that I participated in and learned with popular education models and fun games that not only helped me to know what it's like to be an interpreter, but also what it's like to be a language justice worker. So for me, it has a lot of meaning, and for it to be in such a beautiful tactile form that I can look through and use to train other interpreters, and just to have as a resource to spread the word about language justice and social justice interpretation. It just means a lot. So it's really awesome that that we are able to share it and other people can use this curriculum and create language justice more accessible wherever they are, to other interpreters that may already be doing this work but don't really have a framework for it. So I think it's really awesome that we have it and it's available.
So esa es nuestra compañera Monse. No se oye, Chloe. And here our compañero Leo.
En la creación. Hola, mi nombre es Leo Esperanza. Yo tuve la buena fortuna de trabajar con el equipo de justicia social de CPC en la creación del currículo. En su mayoría, mis responsabilidades estuvieron enfocadas en revisar y modificar el material de cada lección. El haber podido poner todas estas horas de trabajo en un material físico, el cual puede ser utilizado por todas las personas que ahora trabajan en pro de la justicia del lenguaje, es un sentimiento muy gratificante. Me siento muy afortunado de haber podido colaborar con Ada y con todo el equipo que puso su granito de arena para poder hacer posible este currículo. Espero que lo disfruten y que aprendan mucho. Muchas gracias.
Excellent. So we just wanted you all to have a chance to, because this was a work of a lot of people, and I think we're very proud of it, and so we just wanted to give a chance to folks who had helped make the curriculum possible, talk about what it meant to them. So the next thing we're going to do is actually do one of the activities from the curriculum. And we're going to do one of the activities from the chapter called Creating Multilingual Spaces. And in this, each chapter is like a lesson plan. And it has all of these games and dinámicas because we use popular education methodology. And in this chapter, in the Creating Multilingual Spaces chapter, what we want folks to do is to have an opportunity to figure out, one, how the interpretation equipment works, because most of our work is with simultaneous interpretation. So figure out how the equipment works, how to troubleshoot the equipment, and also how to create a multilingual or a language justice space. And that sometimes means, as interpreters, we have the opportunity to go in front of the room or go in front of the meeting or go in front of the conference and like introduce interpretation. And we believe that when you introduce the interpretation, it's a good way to like technically talk about like, here's the volume button, here's the channel, here's the headset, but it's also a way to kind of set the stage for language justice. And we like to do it in a way where we take our audience into consideration. So is it a group that's already used interpretation equipment a lot? Is it a group that's totally new to interpretation equipment? And we try to take advantage of the introduction to create a space where people feel invited. And we feel like if you do the introduction well, people can feel included. And if you don't take the time to really think about it, or you don't do the introduction well, sometimes, no por mal plan, but sometimes people can feel excluded. So we are going to have a chance to work with partners. So through the miracle of Zoom and Chloe, we are going to go into separate rooms with partners. And with your partner, you're going to have an opportunity to create an introduction to the interpretation equipment. See? And you're going to have like about 8 minutes in your little group or with your pair. So we want you to think about, you're at a conference, you're at a gathering, you're at a meeting. There's a lot of people. People have traveled from long distances. There's people of different ethnicities, races, people who speak different languages. And you're going to go up and you're going to introduce the interpretation equipment. And we want you to introduce it in a way that takes into consideration and honors all the languages. That includes the languages that we, or that you as the interpreter, are going to be interpreting in. It also includes the languages in the room that maybe there's no interpretation for in that moment. And it also recognizes all of the languages that might have been lost through slavery, through colonialism, through immigration. So we want you to think of an intro that weaves in all of that. And for folks who do the intro a lot, think about what new things you can put into it. And for folks who've never done an intro, think about how you would weave in language loss, language preservation, and try to create a space where all of the languages are honored. See? So I'm going to pass it to my compañera Chloe, who is going to put us in random pairs. And then we'll see each other in a couple of minutes, and we'll hear back from maybe one or two groups.
I had one quick question. So it's not just about the equipment. We're doing like the simultaneous interpreting spiel, or are we focusing kind of more on the equipment?
Imagine that you've already done like, here's the button, here's the volume, and now you're trying to do a little bit more.
Okay.
See?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so before I put everybody into pairs, I'm going to give you a warning of what it's going to be like. Can you hear me, Ada? Okay. When I break everyone out into rooms, you will not be able to see me or Ada anymore or hear us. You'll only be able to see and hear the person that you're in a breakout room with, so don't freak out. If you do need help, if something's not working, if you're having technical issues, there's a button at the bottom of your screen, or there should be one that says ask for help. So press that and one of us will respond to you. When time is up, we will close the breakout rooms, but you will get a countdown. You'll have 1 minute. You'll be able to see that you have 1 minute left before we come back as a big group. Okay, here it goes. Okay.
Is everybody back? Did that go? Can you give me just like thumbs up, thumbs down? Did that go okay? Did that work? Maybe it did or didn't work. Oh, great. Okay. So we're going to do this old school style. Maybe we can hear from 2 or 3 of the different pairs. If you want to share, you'll just do like old school, raise your hand, and I'll call on you. Lo siento, it's oppressive, you'll say. But we want to hear how you weaved in these topics of imperialism, colonialism, slavery, language loss, honored languages. So who would like to share with the whole group? Manitas, manitas, que nos lleven su... Oh, nadie?
I think Allison should go.
Volunteered, Allison.
We didn't come up with a formal script or anything. We just talked about different ways, which I feel like actually I learned a lot about from CPC, as starting out, I guess, with an acknowledgement that there's been an intentional decision to create a bilingual or multilingual space, that interpretation is being provided, but acknowledging and realizing that people have other languages in the room, and maybe starting with an acknowledgement of what like indigenous territory you're in, and naming the language that is spoken by that community, and offering people an opportunity to speak the name of languages that are present in the room, and acknowledging also the fact that there are other languages to which folks may or may not have had access to through systems of oppression like slavery and colonialism, basically.
Super. ¿Quién más? ¿Quién más? Other ideas. ¿O estaban chismoseando?
Voy a decir algo bien brevemente, porque a lo primero no pude escuchar muy bien por pues problemas técnicos, pero muchas de las veces la ignorancia comienza con nosotros los intérpretes. Estamos en un espacio donde, o sea, ignorante no estoy diciendo en el sentido negativo, sino en el sentido de lo que es, que estamos en espacios y a veces no sabemos qué otros idiomas, además de los dominantes que están, o también ignorancia en el sentido de que, de dónde este idioma, a veces, necesitamos quechua, y muchas personas no saben de dónde es quechua, de qué parte, de qué región de Latinoamérica es esos idiomas. Entonces, como voy a hablar por mí, comenzar yo pues, a estudiar un poquito de dónde vienen esos idiomas, de qué región, y cuáles son los nombres técnicos que se usan para los idiomas que no están representados.
Entonces, una cosa es preguntarle al grupo, pero también hacer tu propia investigación y tu propio research antes. Una persona más que quiera compartir lo que platicó. I'm going to switch into, I don't know if anyone else who wants to talk about what they shared with their partner?
Yeah, thank you, because I have no Spanish skills at all.
Sorry.
I'm sign language. I'm not Spanish. So I'm like, what?
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I think it's great that this discussion is happening, and I wish that I could have gotten my computer to work at 6 o'clock instead of 6:30 because I missed so much of it. But so I'm confused. So can someone kind of catch me up? What was the actual focus of this entire workshop? Because I didn't see much information on it. I just signed up because, quite frankly, it was free. So can someone kind of catch me up a little? Do you mind?
Well, I'll catch you up and briefly, and then I'm going to tell you that we're recording it, and we'll share the recording.
Okay, great.
So we created this language justice curriculum to train interpreters, and we're just talking about how to use the language justice curriculum, and we just broke up in pairs to practice one of the activities from the curriculum.
So language access, no matter the language, is that the entire?
Right.
Okay. All right.
Right.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Super.
And maybe we should have a transcript or captioning, because, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great idea.
Thank you. All right.
All right. So this is just one of the things that, we could spend the next like 45 minutes being like, oh, well, you could do this or you could do that in the intro, but we just wanted to give you like a taste. Like this is just one of the many conversations that are in the curriculum and that you could use when you're training interpreters or when you're getting together with your crew or when you're doing practice sessions or when you're doing your annual training. This is just like one little thing. So we wanted to give you a taste of it. And now I'm going to pass it on to my comadre, Andrea Golden, who's going to tell you a little bit more.
Hey, everybody. Can you hear me okay? So Al and I just wanted to share a little bit about how we use the curriculum and why it's been important to us as CPC. I feel like it's taken us about the past 10 years to learn this lesson that intérpretes no nacen, se hacen. That interpreters are not just born, but they're made. And for many years, many years, we would do a 2 or 3 day long language justice interpreter training. And we get so excited because there'd be 30 new people in the room. And then 4 months later, it was like the same 4 interpreters driving all around Western North Carolina. And we're like, where are those 30 people? They were so good. And so slowly we started to figure out what other things could we be doing other than the annual training. So we started by offering an evaluation to folks who came to the training that wanted to kind of gauge where they were at, so they could identify, like, what am I really good at? What areas do I want to work on? So they could really focus on that. And then we created monthly practice sessions, which the curriculum is kind of an outcome of, because if any of y'all are facilitators, you know, you do something like monthly practice sessions and it lives in notebooks and computers among 7 different people. And we finally decided to pull all that together to create this curriculum. And so you can see the content of what we work on with folks monthly in the curriculum. But I think another lesson that we learned, which was so important, was just becoming part of each other's lives. So as we saw new bilingual people coming to the workshop, coming to the practice session, that we could really see, like, had that natural talent, we would just really focus on a couple of people for that year. And just every time we got a gig, either in town or out of town, a good excuse to drive to Atlanta or Alabama, we would take those new interpreters along with us for about a year as they built up their skill set, their confidence, their networks to be able to get more gigs for themselves. And we saw that after about a year of doing that, we had way more new interpreters in our network than we had after 10 years of doing an annual workshop. So for us, that's why we wanted to share this curriculum out with folks across the country and in different places that might could use the curriculum and then transform it into something that for you all really brings in this next generation of language justice workers.
Super. All right, so we are going to take a 1-minute stretch break. If you need water, if you need to stand up, if you need to pet the puppy, anda un puppy. So this is our 1-minute stretch break. Could be a 1-minute dance break, but I'm not ready for the 1-minute dance break. Oh, nice. Oh. All right. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Oh, Ceci, ¿qué traes? Agua. Nice. All right. Hydration. Also, hydration break. 1-minute stretch and hydration break. There we go. All right. So we are going to have another opportunity to talk to each other. And I'm actually going to share my screen, and maybe it'll be easier to this way. Maybe it'll be easier. So we want to give you all an opportunity to talk from folks like Houston folks, talk to Bronx folks, talk to Atlanta folks. How are you training a new generation of language justice interpreters? What ideas do you have about training a new generation of language justice interpreters? And how do you think that this curriculum could be a part of that? So again, Chloe is going to put us into small groups. I'm going to ask that one person take notes about the conversation. And you're just going to talk about what ideas you have, like brainstorm ideas about how you can bring in and bring up new interpreters, what obstacles you imagine facing, have faced, are afraid of facing, and what support you think that you would need. And so you're gonna also be there in for about 10 minutes. Someone's gonna take notes and just make sure to talk about ideas, obstacles, and support needed. Does that make sense? And I'll leave this screen up while Chloe helps us get into our small groups.
Okay. All right. For Aldo and Michelle, I will come visit you immediately because I have some specific technical instructions for you. So just a heads up there. All right. Ready, set.
Listo, compas. I think we're all back. I hope that was nice to be in the little breakout groups with new people or maybe some old friends. So what we're going to do is that we are going to hear back from the 5 groups and just like short report back. So about a minute for each group. And we'll just go through like group 1, share your ideas, obstacles, and the support you would need. And Andrea is going to be taking notes. We were going to do like the whole whiteboard thing so that you could see the notes as they came up. But I kind of like seeing everyone's faces. So can we see hands raised if you prefer whiteboard? No, hombre, nadie quiere. Okay, so we'll prefer faces. And yeah, when you add your information, like give us the new idea. So let's say we hear from the first group and they say annual training. Like the second group doesn't have to say annual training and the third group doesn't say annual training. So let's hear from group 5. 1 minute report back from group 5. What were your ideas, obstacles, and the support you need?
How do we know our group number?
Yeah, I know. I think we were group 4, but I'm not entirely sure.
Let's see. I'll call out a group. There was a Jonathan, Lindsay, and Patri, I think, and a mystery number.
Yes, well, I'm Jonathan. I was the note taker for group 5. One of the themes that came up for in our group was one of the challenges was raising awareness in a few different senses of the people who could be serving as interpreters, raising awareness of the value of interpreting as kind of a dedication, as a dedication with a specific goal of inclusion of multilingual spaces in mind. Then also awareness of, within our networks in the cities or the locations where we are, awareness of the people who are needing events, so that if we're able to kind of grow those networks and make them really solid, then we can have a more steady source of places to interpret and places to get messages out and where we can participate. And so, yeah, raising awareness, that seemed to be the main theme that was running throughout the different things that were being shared in group 5.
So now maybe Ron, who was the note taker in your group?
I was. Yeah, so let me see. So in terms of the ideas, all 3 of us who were there, so we had somebody from the Atlanta group, Ceci was there. We had 2 from Caracol, myself from Tilde, so kind of Georgia, North Carolina, New York City. We're all in our kind of early stages of incorporation, even though Caracol has been around for a long time, but they're kind of in the process right now of that process, which we're also talking about in both Atlanta and here in North Carolina. So we're having a lot of meetings in general, either once a month or more than once a month, and just having to figure out a lot of like the operational kind of stuff as we go. And then we're, in terms of kind of the new generation, Tilde has been doing these skill building trainings. We've done 9 up to now, from September through December, and we've been just kind of creating it as we go. But we've had one of the challenges with that is that we initially had a lot of people showing up, and then we didn't have as many like towards the end in November and December. But it's one way we've kind of been bringing in new people and kind of doing some skills building. In terms of some of the obstacles, that sometimes it's hard to find. There's a lot of meeting time that we need to figure out a lot of different things. A lot of time in admin systems and kind of figuring out how we work within the capitalist system. How do we incorporate legally, all that kind of stuff. And Caracol mentioned needing support on the administrative front, especially. So, did I miss anything from the rest of the group who wants to add?
Okay, great. So the group with Miluska and JP?
Voy yo, John. Bueno, yo puedo decir un par de cosas. Maybe John can just jump in about some other things. A theme that came up with both of us, I guess, I'm in Puerto Rico and John is in Texas, is the recent hurricanes and how some of, this situation, for example, has left in the open, right? Like very bien crudamente, all the languages that are spoken by refugees. Tú sabes, in tying it up with our first question of like colonialism and languages that are absent. Esto también se ve en Nueva York. Nosotros la vemos mucho en Caracol, de personas que vienen de personas que hablan idiomas indígenas, que vienen de lo que hoy en día es América Latina, y es muy difícil conseguir intérpretes para por ejemplo, para su papeleo legal o lo que sea. ¿Verdad? Que hagan un trabajo, ¿verdad? Que sea bien de la calidad que amerita ese tipo de trámites. Por ejemplo, MAM es un idioma que piden mucho en Nueva York, y entonces John también estaba diciendo que eso también pasa mucho en Texas, como es de esperarse. Entonces estuvimos hablando de que sería importante, ¿verdad?, la cooperación y el apoyo entre grupos, sobre todo grupos emergentes que manejen otros idiomas. This would be nice for that. También it came up, like, for example, in Caracol, there are some, we have some resources, some human resources, like Telesh y Patrick, que está aquí con nosotras hoy, que hacen muchas de las capacitaciones de Caracol, pues tapping into those, and the resources that other groups may have for that. Y no sé si John quiere decir algo about this, que eres tú hablando de que en su grupo, Antena, si no me equivoco, están hablando de capacitaciones mensuales, John.
Sí, yo lo hago si quieres. Sí, pues nada más dije que lo que dijo Andrea se me hizo muy importante y también como una ayuda bastante fuerte para nosotros, porque el año pasado, por fin, después de muchos años, logramos hacer el entrenamiento anual. Hicimos uno en Dallas, en el norte de Texas, y uno también en Houston. Y antes de eso habíamos hecho como reuniones mensuales, así como por un año, o sea, anteriormente a ese entrenamiento, como un año y medio antes. Pero como esas reuniones mensuales como que no nos funcionaban muy bien porque no teníamos un currículo. Entonces era como juntarnos para hacer qué exactamente y no sabíamos. Hicimos el entrenamiento mensual, o el entrenamiento anual, que Roberto Tijerina llegó, hizo el entrenamiento y estuvo bien suave. O sea, juntamos 16 personas en Dallas y 16 en Houston y nos la pasamos muy bien, y han salido buenos intérpretes de ahí de ese entrenamiento, pero creo que como que a mí no se me había ocurrido nada más hacer como bi-monthly or monthly sessions and just use these things, like, and it sounds like the most obvious thing, pero no se me había ocurrido y se me hace suave. O sea, se lo voy a proponer a la gente de Antena Houston, decir como, vamos, o sea, nomás, ok, 1 month, vamos a hacer 1, segundo mes, 2, let's be real creative. So, ahí está. Gracias a ustedes.
Yo me olvidé de mencionar que Chile ha tenido 2 entrenamientos de 2 días, uno en la primavera y otro en el verano, que hicimos este año, y fue en base a eso que después hicimos los kind of skill building que hemos hecho ahora en el otoño. Entonces, solo para agregar ahí.
So the group with Andrew, Juliana, and Lara? ¿Quién va?
Who's our note taker? I'll try to hit all three of the themes. As far as ideas to recruit or to attract the next generation, Andrew talked about using social media and networking, really using person-to-person connections to kind of identify potential interpreters and language justice workers. And then we also had the idea of possibly doing some informational sessions just to kind of present the idea. There are lots of bilingual people out there, but they may not necessarily be familiar with everything that's involved in language justice work. Mm-hmm. And then as far as obstacles, one of the things we talked about was it can be difficult to, again, there are a lot of bilingual people out there in the world, but not everybody really understands how to balance when we're an advocate and when we're an interpreter, and how those competing interests can kind of interfere with language justice work. At times, because we do feel a natural affinity, or we do feel a lot of sympathy to the groups that we're representing, we might blur the line and cross over into advocacy when our role is strictly to be a facilitator of language. So we talked about with training new interpreters, there's also the need to help people understand when we're advocating off mic, how to limit the role to language justice work only. And some of the support ideas that we talked about, or the things that we would need, were, again, training sessions and meeting people where they are. So we may have people that have language skills, but don't understand the language justice piece, or vice versa. Yeah. Maybe we have people that are interested in social justice work, but their language skills are not there yet. So really meeting people where they are and building from there.
That's really great. Thank you. And then the last group is Aldo, Michelle, and Allison.
I was the note taker. So we talked about, what are the challenges we faced and what were the things that have been important or that we want to build on more, or ideas that we have. So I guess in terms of challenges, so I guess one thing that Michelle mentioned that I think is I don't know, present throughout is when you're providing spaces to train up interpreters, doing it in a way that facilitates the participation of people who maybe have demanding work schedules and are not all in the same physical location, especially in places where you don't have really built up networks. And I guess one of the other things is sort of just how to create the structures that support ongoing work with a group of people. And so whether that means making it less frequent, like a monthly, bi-monthly, or contrasting that with a more intensive, deep with a few small group of people, and what I guess challenges and opportunities are in both of those, and things that have, I guess, been really important. We identified mentorship and direct support from people who are already really doing the work and really taking people along with them and really welcoming people in a personal way, as well as Aldo spoke a lot about their emphasis on really operating from an asset model and not a deficit model. All of strengths and riches of code switching, and for example, in New York, if you have access to all different kinds of forms of Spanish, forms of English, and that as being a real skill that is important to notice and value in. And another, I guess, opportunity idea thing was the possibility of a Zoom thing like this, being able to help maybe provide spaces for exchange and training if you're having difficulty like getting in the same physical place or being available at the exact same time, everybody. So that was like a cool takeaway from this. I don't know if other folks want to talk. Aldo, Michelle. Oh, Michelle maybe took a break. Aldo, you want to say something else? Okay.
I want to say that I really appreciate our tech Ada, Chloe, for kind of encouraging us to be like, you can use this Zoom, and yes, you can bore everybody for an hour and a half, and you can also do this and do that, and there's this Post-it app, and you can break out into pairs, and you can break out into small groups, and it's really helped kind of push the Zoom where it had always been that like one-dimensional, like I sit here and you just talk to me. So the idea of, I think hopefully with the practice, like with the webinar, you're like, oh, okay, shit, I didn't know that could happen, or next time I'm gonna try these, I'm going to try this or try that. So hopefully it was an example too of how we can use this as a resource and a tool. Let me see. Okay, so we have taken notes. We have been recording. If you have questions for us around our work, around the curriculum, what we like to do for fun, if you have questions for us, you can email me and Andrea said that we will send you a video response. So you email us your question, and then we'll be like, this question is for Juliana. Hey, Juliana. So if you have questions for us, email us those questions, and we'll be sending out the notes and the recording. And then to close, we are looking for 4 brave volunteers. So to close, we need 4 brave volunteers. Quickly, because I want to end on time. Okay, Ron, Cecilia, Felix? Last one? Oh, Andrew Gibbons. I think that was Andrew Gibbons with the eyebrows. All right, so now you are part of the CPC family, and we want to invite you to be part of a long-standing tradition of Western North Carolina and of the Center for Participatory Change, and that is interpreter karaoke.
I did this Thursday.
So, Ceci, we're going to start out with you. And then everyone else will be on mute. So we'll go Ceci, Ron, Andrew, Felix. Ceci, you're going to start it out.
I unmuted everyone who volunteered, so you don't have to worry about your microphones.
All right.
Everyone else is on mute.
Interpreter karaoke, everybody. Here we go.
¿Todos juntos?
No, first, Ceci. I'll tell you what you're next. I'll call on
I know very well that I'm outside, but the day that I die, I know you will have
llorar, llorar y llorar.
They say that you didn't love me.
Okay, Ron, prepárate, Ron.
Because I don't have a throne or a queen or anybody who understands me, and I'll always be the king. I got off easy on this one. There was a rock on the path that showed me my destiny.
Andrew!
You don't have to arrive first. You have to arrive. always do what I want. My word is the law. I don't have a throne or a queen.
All right, Kelly, bye-bye. Close us out, Kelly.
There's nobody that understands me, but I continue to be the king.
Thank you all so much. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Compas.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Yeah.
Bye.
Nice to meet you, everybody.